This iceberg contains 5 layers, and each layer represents one part of David Goggins' life. First layer contains basic information that anyone who is remotely interested in David and his story should know. Because of this reason, it is at the top of the iceberg. Millard Fillmore Buffalo. David Goggins was born on February 17, 1975 in a hospital named Millard Fillmore in Buffalo, New York, as the first African American baby born there. Go to the description and subscribe right now for more David Goggins videos. Water fear. In the world of special operations where the elite are forged, mastering swimming is just the tip of the iceberg. Imagine facing relentless tests, water confidence, where drowning seems imminent. This is the crucible that separates the few from the many. Shockingly, only 1% of special operations personnel are African American. Among them, David stands out, battling against negative buoyancy, challenge he shares with many of his peers. Despite his fears, David refused to be held back. Instead, he embraced the pool, confronting his fears head-on with relentless determination. 300 pounds. Between the ages of 19 and 22, David experienced a dramatic transformation, gaining a staggering 125 pounds. Starting at 175 pounds, he reached a peak weight of 297 pounds during this period of his life. Blaming. At one point in his life, David found himself caught in a cycle of blame, pointing fingers at everything and everyone around him. From his learning disability to his skin color, fears, insecurities, and even his parents, he placed the weight of his struggles on external factors. It was only later that he came to a profound realization: no one was going to rescue him from his challenges. Inventing a guy. Following a pivotal encounter with a cockroach infestation, David made a bold decision to leave his job at Ecolab behind. This marked the beginning of a transformative journey fueled by an unparalleled dedication to fitness. "I became the most obsessed person on the planet Earth," he recalls. In his relentless pursuit of self-improvement, David realized that he needed to reinvent himself from scratch. Through relentless suffering and perseverance, he forged a callous mind capable of enduring any trial. His mindset shifted from one of self-doubt, "I'm not good enough," to one of unwavering determination, "I'm going to make myself good enough." Happiness. For David, happiness takes a backseat to pride, drive, and obsession. His life has been defined by struggle and endless uphill battle with every passing day. Happiness simply wasn't a priority for him, especially during his formative years when he battled it with his weight and other challenges. As he puts it, "Happiness wasn't on the mirror when I was 16 or when I was 300 pounds. Rocky 1, around 14. David's obsession with Rocky 1 runs deep into his childhood memories. Every day after school, he would rush home to watch the film, eagerly fast-forwarding to around 14 on his VHS tapes. There, as the iconic soundtrack blared, he found inspiration in Rocky's unwavering resilience. In Rocky, David saw a reflection of himself, a fighter with limited prospects, facing insurmountable odds. Despite being labeled a dumb fighter who couldn't even read or write, Rocky's refusal to stay down resonated deeply with David. As Apollo Creed pummeled him, the crowd urging him to stay down, Rocky's determination to keep rising left an indelible mark on David's soul. It wasn't about winning for Rocky, it was the sheer audacity to stand up against the mightiest of foes. In that moment, Rocky didn't just defy Apollo Creed, it took his soul. Negative buoyancy. Confronting his fear head-on, David devoted countless hours to the pool, determined to conquer his deep-seated fear of the water. Through relentless practice and perseverance, he sought to achieve a state of oneness with the water, transforming his apprehension to mastery. To counter his negative buoyancy, David experimented with various techniques. One breakthrough came when he discovered the power of fins. By incorporating them into his routine, he found a way to equalize his body in the water, mitigating the challenges posed by his natural buoyancy. This adjustment marked a pivotal turning point in his aquatic journey, empowering him to navigate the depths with newfound confidence and control. Chocolate mini donuts. After a long day at Ecolab, David's routine included a curious stop at 7-Eleven. There, he indulged in a peculiar habit, purchasing chocolate mini donuts. These treats weren't consumed conventionally. Instead, David popped them like Tic Tacs as he drove home, hardly pausing to savor them. Remarkably, this wasn't even his breakfast. It was merely a fleeting snack in his daily routine. MIT meeting. During his tenure as a Navy SEAL recruiter, David found himself in an unexpected setting. A meeting at MIT, seated alongside esteemed figures, including an older, distinguished gentleman. They formed a panel addressing inquiries on matters of the mind and mental toughness. As questions poured in, the elder statesman offered responses steeped in theoretical knowledge, while David remained silent. Observing the proceedings, David recognized that the esteemed figure was articulating views rooted solely in theory, views that contradicted his own lived experience. When prompted to share his perspective, David David seized the opportunity to challenge these notions head-on. Contrary to the prevailing belief that certain attributes were innate, David boldly asserted his belief that one's mindset could overcome the challenges. In essence, he defied the notion that greatness was reserved solely for the select few born with it, instead advocating for the transformative power of resilience and determination. Being alone in his journey, David Goggins forged himself from the ground up. There were no trophies waiting at the finish line, no one to foot his bills, and certainly no one to run his miles for him. Every step of the way, he faced his trials and tribulations solo, carving out his path through sheer determination and relentless effort. In the crucible of his struggles, David molded himself into an ultra-competitive force. Through the solitary suffering he endured, he cultivated the resilience and tenacity that define him today. 1 second decision theory. Hell Week is an unforgiving test, stretching over 130 hours, a seemingly endless succession of seconds. In this crucible, victory hinges on a razor-thin margin. Lose just 1 second and the entire battle slips from your grasp. It's a relentless onslaught where even a brief lapse in focus can spell defeat. Imagine yourself submerged in icy waters, each wave crashing against you, a relentless reminder of the grueling hours ahead. In that moment, the mind rebels against the sheer magnitude of the challenge, leaping from hour 2 straight to hour 130 in the desperate bid for escape. Fight or flight instincts kick in, drowning out every rationale that once drove you to be there. Yet in that critical second, survival depends on a mental pivot, an ability to transport oneself elsewhere, away from the icy grip of despair. Like David, who found himself physically submerged but mentally anchored on the beach with his instructors, one must summon the power of logic to calm the storm raging within. It's a battle fought not just against the elements, but against the inner turmoil, threatening to engulf every fiber of resolve. Mixtape of hate. Criticism often stems from those who haven't achieved much themselves. The fact that David Goggins finds lamentable. It's a common pattern. Those striving for greatness often find themselves bombarded with negativity from those who have yet to reach similar heights. As David navigates through the sea of comments, he encounters his fair share of detractors, but rather than letting their words linger, he adopts a simple yet effective strategy: snapshot, block, delete. On days when motivation wanes, David turns to an unexpected source of fuel: mixtapes of hate messages. It's a curious blend of amusement and inspiration as he listens to the criticisms with a half-hearted chuckle and half-hearted nod. In the cacophony of negativity, he finds a perverse sense of motivation driving him to push through the barriers that threaten him to hold him back. Pandemic in Canada. In the vast landscape of the medical field, David Goggins has chosen to make his mark as a paramedic in Canada. But his ambitions extend far beyond simply holding the title. Day in and day out, he relentlessly pursues knowledge, seeking to absorb every iota of information that could potentially save a life. For David, being paramedic isn't just a job, it's a mission. He strives to embody the epitome of readiness, to be the one who knows precisely what needs to be done and which medication should be administered in any given scenario. His dedication knows no bounds as he tirelessly immerses himself in the intricacies of emergency medicine, driven by a singular goal: to be the difference between life and death for those in need. Documentary on David. David's reluctance to have a documentary made about his life stems from a fear that viewers might not grasp the true essence of his story. He worries that instead of seeing dedication and hard work behind his accomplishments, people might simply dismiss it as a cautionary tale, a grim portrayal of life they wouldn't want to live. In David's view, the reality of his journey may not translate well to the screen. While his story is one of perseverance and triumph over adversity, he understands that the sheer effort and sacrifice involved may not be palatable to everyone. Rather than inspiring viewers to emulate his path, he fears that they may recoil from the perceived hardships and challenges depicted in the documentary. Ultimately, David wants his story to be told authentically without sugarcoating or embellishment. He knows that the road to success is paved with obstacles, but he also believes that it's a journey worth undertaking for those who are truly committed to achieving their goals. Not being honest. Growing up, David found himself surrounded by a diverse group of peers, many of whom were African American. However, he noticed a distinct lack of interest among them in pursuing careers in special operations. As a result, he refrained from discussing his own aspirations in that field, fearing he wouldn't fit or be understood. Throughout his formative years, David grappled with a pervasive sense of invisibility. He felt constrained by the expectations of others, constantly tiptoeing around their perceptions and reactions. This fear of judgment stifled the ability to express his true self, leaving him feeling isolated and misunderstood. In essence, essence, David's upbringing was marked by a pervasive sense of invisibility. His reluctance to share his aspirations stemmed from a fear of rejection and desire to avoid rocking the boat. As a result, he navigated the complexities of adolescence with guarded demeanor, concealing his true ambitions and emotions from those around him. What if David encountered prevailing belief that the scarcity of African Americans in the Navy SEALs was due to their repeated discomfort with water? However, rather than accepting this notion as a barrier, David saw it as an opportunity to challenge stereotypes and defy expectations. Fueled by relentless what-if mentality, David refused to let his perceived shortcomings dictate his future. Despite grappling with insecurities and self-doubt, he harnessed the power of possibility, daring to envision a reality where he could transcend his limitations. This mindset became his driving force, propelling him to push the boundaries of what was deemed possible, from conquering his fear of water to transforming himself from an unfit individual into an ultra-endurance athlete. David's journey epitomizes the transformative power of relentless determination and unwavering belief in oneself. Smoke jumping. Despite the financial sacrifice, David dedicated 3 to 4 months of each year to smoke jumping, a daring and crucial role in firefighting. Smoke jumping involves parachuting into remote areas inaccessible by traditional means to combat raging fires. For David, the decision to devote his summers to this perilous endeavor represents a significant personal investment. While the financial toll may be steep, the opportunity to make a tangible difference in safeguarding communities and ecosystems outweighs any monetary considerations. Pre-failed marriages. David's journey to finding lasting love had its share of challenges, including 2 failed marriages before meeting his now fiancée, Jennifer Kish. Despite the setbacks, Jennifer stands as a beacon of unwavering support, embracing David and his aspirations wholeheartedly. With Jennifer by his side, David has found a partner who believes in him and his dreams, providing the strength and encouragement he needs to navigate life's complexities. Social media. Despite the immense following, David Goggins maintains a reserved stance on social media, finding strength in its introverted nature. Unlike many influencers, he refrains from consuming content on platforms like Instagram, instead focusing on sharing his own experiences and insights with his audience. David's Instagram approach is minimalist. He posts content but does not follow anyone, maintaining a feed that is solely dedicated to his own contributions. With staggering 11 million followers, he has cultivated a community that resonates with his message of perseverance, determination, and self-improvement. For David, social media serves as a platform to inspire and motivate others, rather than a means of personal validation or consumption. Visualization. Visualization stands as David Goggins' foremost tool. In navigating life's challenges through meticulous mental preparation, he immerses himself in countless simulations of uncomfortable scenarios long before encountering them in reality. This relentless practice ensures that when faced with adversity, whether in the midst of grueling race or submerged in icy waters, there are no surprises. Repeatedly visualizing each moment with unwavering clarity and intensity, David cultivates a sense of familiarity and preparedness that enables him to confront the obstacles with confidence and resolve. Fear of potential. David Goggins' deepest fear centers around the idea of facing divine judgment in the afterlife. He grapples with the notion that despite the choices we make in life, God knows our true potential, our inherent capacity for greatness. This existential fear is rooted in the concern that upon reaching heaven, he will be confronted with a version of himself that falls short of what he was truly capable of achieving. In this imagined scenario, David envisions God presenting him with a chart detailing all the extraordinary accomplishments he could have attained. Yet in his mind, he sees himself as the overweight exterminator, far removed from the idealized version of himself depicted on the chart. This dissonance between who he is and who he could have been serves as a powerful motivator for David to continually strive for greatness, to surpass even the loftiest expectations set by a divine force. He longs for that divine force above to be jotting down, expressing a sentiment of surprise. I had no idea he had this in him, as God acknowledges and records David's remarkable achievements despite his omniscience. Journaling. For several years now, David has made journaling a cornerstone of his daily routine. Each evening, he meticulously documents the events events of the day, capturing not only his actions but also his thoughts and emotions. The comprehensive approach extends to various aspects of his life, including physical fitness, mental well-being, and dietary habits. What sets David's journaling practice apart is his commitment to reflection and analysis, regularly revisiting past entries. He delves into the minutiae of his experiences, seeking insights into his successes and failures. By identifying patterns and areas for improvement, he gains invaluable clarity on where he went wrong and what adjustments need to be made. Wildland firefighter. Becoming a wildland firefighter wasn't just a career choice for David, it was a deliberate return to his roots, a journey back to the very essence of his character formation. For him, this role symbolized a reconnection to the fundamental principles that shaped him into the person he is today: hard work and a minimalist mindset. In the world of wildland firefighting, there is unique power in being a nobody, starting from scratch and building oneself up from the ground. It's a realm where titles and accolades hold little weight, and one's worth is measured solely by their grit and determination in the face of adversity. For David, immersing himself in this environment offered more than just a job. It provided a canvas on which he could rediscover the essence of who he was and reconnect with the core values that define him. Publishing Can't Hurt Me Alone. Despite discouraging feedback from publishers who doubted the appeal of his story, David Goggins defied the odds with his book Can't Hurt Me. Contrary to their predictions, the book soared to become a New York Times bestseller, captivating readers with its raw and inspiring account of overcoming adversity. With over 5 million copies sold, David's story resonated deeply with audiences worldwide, proving that tales of resilience and triumph hold enduring value and can inspire countless others on their own journeys. Jobs. In his early years, David Goggins held a series of humble positions in Brazil, Indiana. Among these were roles as a minimum wage security guard, where he ensured safety and security in various establishments. He also worked as a lifeguard at a local pool, responsible for the well-being of swimmers and enforcing pool safety rules. Additionally, David spent time as an exterminator, tackling pest control issues and ensuring environments were free from infestations. Life autopsy. David Goggins emphasizes the importance of introspection and mental examination in achieving true happiness and fulfillment. In his view, the keys to happiness, peace, and enlightenment lie within the depths of one's own mind. He challenges the notion that material possessions or external circumstances can bring lasting contentment, asserting instead that true happiness is a state of mind that must be cultivated from within. According to David, confronting and understanding the inner workings of one's mind is essential for unlocking the state of fulfillment. By facing our fears, insecurities, and limitations head-on, we pave the way for personal growth and transformation. Only by delving deep into our own thoughts and emotions, we can uncover the true sources of happiness and inner peace. Live what I say. Having emerged from a past characterized by deceit and falsehoods, David Goggins recognizes the imperative of living in alignment with his principles and values. He acknowledges that his journey, personal growth, and transformation has required him to confront his own demons and face every challenge head-on. As a result, he has embraced a commitment to authenticity and honesty, understanding that integrity is foundational to his character. For David, the path to redemption and self-realization necessitates unwavering honesty and transparency. He understands that the authenticity of his actions must reflect the depth of his convictions. By staying true to himself and refusing to compromise his values, he embodies the integrity and resilience that defines his character. Living with Goggins. During the month-long stay with Jesse Itzler, David Goggins orchestrated a grueling regimen that tested Jesse's physical and mental fortitude. First day began with an intense challenge, 100 pull-ups, a hard task for someone who could initially only manage 4 at a time. Despite the difficulty, Jesse persisted, pushing himself to new limits under David's relentless guidance. As the days passed, Jesse's resilience was put to the test as he confronted his own limitations and pushed through barriers he once thought insurmountable. And then, just as abruptly as he arrived, David departed without fanfare, leaving behind a simple note expressing gratitude, saying, "Thanks." Inner voice. David Goggins grapples with an unrelenting inner voice. Conscience ceaselessly urges him to action. As he grows older, this internal dialogue only intensifies. Its persistent demands echoing louder each passing day. Despite his desires for respite, the voice refuses to grant him reprieve, driving him relentlessly forward. This relentless internal struggle serves as a constant reminder of the challenges he faces and the unyielding standards he holds himself to. Despite his efforts to silence it, the voice serves as a relentless motivator, pushing him to continually strive for greatness and refuse to settle for mediocrity. Head over to the description and click on the first link right now to buy my new merch. The second layer contains entries about David's running career, his accomplishments, and the beginnings of ultra running 4-mile run. David Goggins set out for his first run with the ambitious goal of covering 4 miles, weighing in at 297 pounds with about 32% body fat. He pushed himself forward, yet after managing only quarter mile, exhaustion overwhelmed him. Disheartened, he trudged back home, collapsing onto his couch in tears. Seeking solace, he sought refuge at his mother's house, where he tearfully confided, "Man, I cannot do this." In this moment of vulnerability, David grappled with the enormity of his challenge, confronting the harsh reality of his physical limitations. Red Wing separation. In the wake of witnessing the heart-wrenching loss of comrades during operations, David Goggins weighed around 200 pounds and with minimal running experience felt a stirring within him. Unlike the typical image of a long-distance runner, he was more akin to a bodybuilder, his routine devoid of running, yet driven by a profound desire to aid the families of fallen soldiers. He resolved to take action. Fueled by this noble cause, David embarked on a quest to raise funds for the bereaved families. Scouring the internet, he stumbled upon a foundation and, guided by curiosity, began researching the world's most grueling races. And familiar with ultra running, he stumbled upon the renowned Badwater 135. Summoning courage, David reached out to the race director, Chris Cosman, unaware of the monumental challenge that lay ahead. In a pivotal exchange, Chris probed David's background, questioning if he was an quote-unquote ultra runner and if he had ever completed a 100-mile race in under 24 hours. Thus commenced David's odyssey into the realm of ultra running, a journey destined to push his physical boundaries and reshape the very essence of his being. 100 miles in under 24 hours. With just a few days to prepare for the impending race, David Goggins faced the challenge. He needed to complete the race to even be considered for Badwater 135. Despite having run no more than 50 miles throughout the entire year, he resolved to push forward. His preparation was rudimentary, consisting of a simple setup, a blue lawn chair, a supply of Ritz crackers, and Myoplex supplements. At the time of the race, he tipped the scales at least 230 pounds. As the miles wore on, David encountered excruciating pain unlike anything he had ever experienced. By mile 70, he was confronted with what he describes as the worst pain of his life. Yet as he settled to the blue lawn chair and his body came to a halt, his mind surged forward, propelled by an unyielding determination to overcome the seemingly insurmountable obstacles that lay ahead. Ultra running. David embarked on his ultra running journey with bold leap, completing 100 miles in under 24 hours. Inaugural achievement marked by the beginning of a remarkable trajectory as he delved deeper into the world of extreme endurance racing. Over time, he amassed an impressive portfolio, pushing his limits further with each successive event. One of David's most notable feats to date is his participation in the grueling Moab 240, punishing 238-mile race that tested his endurance to the core. In an astonishing display of resilience, he traversed the unforgiving terrain for an astounding 62 hours and 21 minutes, cementing his status as a formidable force in the ultra-running community. Badwater 135. David's journey into ultra-running reached a pivotal juncture with the prospect of the Badwater 135, a grueling 135-mile run through Death Valley in the scorching summer heat. Initially, he harbored misconceptions about the event, envisioning it as a stage race with intermittent camping breaks. Upon reaching out, Chris Cosman, the director of Badwater, David was tasked with running additional races, qualified for the event. Undeterred, he embarked on a rigorous training regimen, culminating in the remarkable achievements of completing 100 miles in under 24 hours, alongside several other races. After rigorous preparation, David finally secured his place in the Badwater 135. In his debut race, he captured an impressive 5th place finish, setting the stage for even greater accomplishments. His subsequent attempt saw him ascend to 3rd place, solidifying his status as a formidable contender in the ultra-running circuit. Myoplex nutrition. During the 100-mile race, David relied solely on Myoplex as his source of nutrition, Struggling to consume the Ritz crackers he had brought with him, he turned to the familiar supplement to fuel his demanding endeavor. Workout before 100-mile run. In the lead up to the grueling 100-mile race, David pushed himself to the limit with an intense full-body workout at the gym alongside his friend, engaging in heavy squats and deadlifts. He spared no effort in showcasing his dedication and prowess. However, the physical toll of this rigorous workout would later manifest during the arduous race, motivated by a desire to impress his friend, who had initially introduced him to the world of ultra running. David pushed himself beyond his limits, yet little did he know that this display of strength would come with consequences, as the strain from the intense workout would reverberate throughout the demanding ultramarathon. Mile 81. In an important moment during the race, David faced the grim reality of falling behind schedule. Despite the odds stacked against him, something within him clicked. Profound connection between his mind, body, and soul. In this transcendent moment, he found a reservoir of unyielding determination, a willingness to push himself to the brink, even in the absence of cheering crowds or the promise of a trophy. Driven by an unwavering resolve, David summoned the strength to defy his limitations and press forward. With sheer grit and determination, he surged ahead, running the next 20 miles at a remarkable pace of 10 minutes and 30 seconds per mile. Chris Kosman, the director of Badwater 135, played an important role in David's journey in ultra running. When David initially expressed interest in joining the race, Chris requested to see his racing portfolio. However, David found himself without any prior racing experience, prompting him to embark on a series of races to qualify for the event. Once he met the qualifications, David participated in the Badwater 135 not once but twice. Herd 100. David Goggins tackled the grueling Herd 100 set amidst the rock terrain of Hawaii. With a staggering 26,000 feet of elevation gain, the course posed a formidable challenge for even the most seasoned ultra runners. Against the backdrop of Hawaii's breathtaking yet unforgiving landscape, David pushed the limits, ultimately completing the race in 33 hours and 23 minutes. His remarkable feat earned him a commendable 9th place finish marathon in a wheelchair. David Goggins initially attended the Las Vegas Marathon to support his mother and ex-wife, not intending to participate due to his recent 100-mile endeavor. However, as the starting pistol echoed through the air, something within him ignited. Despite his initial reservations and physical exhaustion, he surged forward and propelled by an indomitable spirit. With each stride, David defied his own limitations, channeling his resolve into every step. In a remarkable display of determination, he crossed the finish line of the marathon in a mere 3 hours and 8 minutes. Moab 240. After a 6-year hiatus from running 100 miles and undergoing multiple surgeries, David Goggins embarked on the formidable challenge of the Moab 240, a grueling race spanning over 240 miles of unforgiving terrain. In his first attempt, he faced a setback, ultimately not finishing the race. Undeterred by this initial setback, David returned to the Moab 240 in 2020 with an unwavering determination to conquer the course. Against all odds, he traversed the punishing landscape, ultimately completing the race in an astonishing 62 hours and 21 minutes. Reflecting on his triumph, David articulated his motivation, stating, "I wanted to dominate what most people refuse to dominate. I wanted to dominate in the most harsh environment. And that's what happened." Limping while running. Despite enduring knee surgeries that left him limping, David Goggins defied the odds, continuing to run with determination, taking souls. David aspired to become the embodiment of perseverance, a figure others would marvel at and wonder. Who is that? He drew inspiration from Rocky's iconic resilience in round 14. Implementing this mindset during his grueling hell weeks, David deliberately pushed himself beyond his limits, leaving his instructors astonished. In his own words, he was able to take their souls, asserting his dominance through unwavering determination. Ram. In 2009, David was gearing up to compete in the race across America, also known as Ram, grueling 3,000-mile bike race. Despite his fears about the relentless schedule and the challenges of sleep deprivation, he was determined to take on the journey. However, he ultimately had to postpone his participation due to heart surgery he underwent that year. Running on broken feet. Before taking on the Herd 100 race, David utilized compression tape on his feet during training, even while dealing with broken feet. Reflecting on his preparation, he remarked, "The compression tape elevated pain levels enough that it was possible to run on broken feet." Time gaps. David embarked embark on a relentless journey, conquering demanding races at a breakneck pace, with scarcely a fortnight between each feat. In the dynamic year of 2007, his racing prowess saw him tackle an impressive tally of 15 events, collectively spanning a staggering 1,253.6 miles solely in the pursuit of victory. He's crazy. David Goggins often finds himself labeled as crazy by the masses, perception he actively shuns. He chooses not to delve into his narrative extensively, knowing full well that his actions are not born of insanity. In his own words, if you can't envision yourself undertaking a task, it's easy to dismiss the one who does as crazy. Cookie jar. This method involves reflecting on your accomplishments to reaffirm your inner strength and resilience. It's a practice particularly potent in moments of despair, when the temptation to surrender looms large. David Goggins embraced this technique during his inaugural attempt at completing a grueling 100-mile run within 24 hours. It served as a pivotal catalyst, propelling it towards the finish line despite overwhelming odds. He regards it as one of his most formidable tools for overcoming adversity. All races. Here's an overview of David Goggins' remarkable racing journey. Take a moment to delve deeper into each event, noting his extraordinary determination and perseverance. Despite encountering setbacks resulting in did not finish DNF outcomes in a few races, Goggins prevailed in the vast majority. His indomitable spirit led him through a staggering total of 61 races, collectively spanning over an awe-inspiring 3,600 miles. Races won. David Goggins' racing career boasts an impressive array of achievements. He clinched the coveted first place position in an astounding 10 races, showcased his prowess with a remarkable second place finish in 5 races, and demonstrated his resilience with a commendable third place standing in 4 races. Racing pacer. During the Moab 240, David Goggins pushed himself to unprecedented limits, even challenging his own pacer. Remarkably, despite the pacer having significantly fewer miles under his belt, he struggled to match Goggins' relentless pace. Altitudes. David strategically approached races with varying altitudes by adapting his running technique accordingly. On flat and downhill terrain, he maintained a swift pace, utilizing his full running potential. However, when faced with uphill sections, he transitioned to power walking, conserving energy while making steady progress. This tactical approach allowed him to navigate the diverse terrain effectively and optimize his performance throughout the race. Temperature training. In preparation for the grueling bedrock of 135, David Goggins recognized the extreme heat he would encounter and devised a unique training regimen. He deliberately trained, wearing multiple layers of clothing, acclimating his body to the scorching conditions he would face during the race. Shedding these layers during his training sessions mimicked the sensation of emerging from water, underscoring the intense heat he was preparing himself for. 4x4x48 challenge. David Goggins initiated a public challenge aimed at pushing participants beyond their limits while supporting charitable causes. Dubbed the 4x4x48 challenge, the premise involves running 4 miles every 4 hours for a duration of 48 hours. For those unable to run, alternative activities such as gym workout or swimming for 40 minutes are encouraged. By joining and completing this challenge, participants not only test their physical and mental fortitude, but also contribute to the greater good by supporting designated charities. World's toughest mudder. In 2016, David Goggins achieved a monumental feat by conquering the world's toughest mudder. While regarded as one of the most grueling endurance challenges on the planet, this 24-hour obstacle course race tests participants both physically and mentally. Goggins, displaying unparalleled determination and grit, completed the arduous course in under 16 hours, securing the prestigious title of World's Toughest Mudder. Charities. David embarked on his running journey with profound purpose, motivated by his own experiences and desire to support others. Following the Red Wings operation, he felt compelled to aid the families affected by tragedy. For his passion for ultrarunning, David raised an extraordinary sum, surpassing $2 million for the Special Operations Warrior Foundation. If you would like to see the rest of this video, which contains 3 more layers, army, childhood, and injuries, and over 90 entries, head over to the description and buy my membership right now.